So, as I was saying in the last video where I was telling you about building your wealth pot so that you'll have a great and happy old age where you're not relying on handouts from your children. And, it's not bad to rely on handouts from your children, but your children too should be given the chance to live their lives, freely. They should be given the chance to start life without a burden, if that's your desire, right? It's my desire. And so I was telling you about what I would like in my wealth pot. I think that's really useful information for if you want to, by the grace of God, grow old and not worry about money. Now I want to talk to you about the pillars, because the only way you'll be able to put those things in the pot is if you do certain things now. And the first thing, in that pillar is your ability to work. So first, if you have the chance, I am an advocate of that. I started my businesses while I was in full-time employment. And except you have people who are investing in you and giving you money and letting you have the freedom of waiting and failing and all of that, usually you need to have a full-time job and then to start your business on the side. I don't call my business a side hustle, but to start your business on the side. Why this is important is that your salary then becomes your investor. I say it all the time, my salary is my investor. I started to plan, I started to take a certain amount from my salary every month to put into my business. Now Owambe Candles is 10 years old, and it was funded to this point until 2020, I think, by my salary, right? Such that before people paid for things, I was able to buy stock, keep running the business. So I am a big advocate of having a 9-to-5 that's paying you well. It just means you have to drive yourself hard to do your businesses on the side. Now, when you have your 9-to-5, the other pillar that supports it is your ability to create another stream of income. Because what you want to do, I always say that money is the first step of creating wealth. What you want to do is you want to increase the amount of money you have, so that when you've increased the amount of money you have, then you're able to use it to create more money, right? So, and that's why at the Audacity to Soar, we have the Audacity to Soar flagship program. Is a business coaching program, because what we want to help you do is how can you make money while you're in full-time employment. We help you transition from full-time employment to entrepreneurship through creating a business that the market wants and will pay for. So creating a second source of income is a great pillar. A second source from which you then create a third and a fourth source. Those are important. I think the other thing is your cycles. When I'm thinking about my pillars, is how do you plan around your cycles? So if you're working and you get a Christmas bonus, you get a housing allowance, rather than, so plan around them, right? You get Christmas bonus, let's say in November, it's a chunk. In March, you get, let's say, your housing allowance. Is there a way you can fix your Christmas bonus? I know that the interest rates are not a lot, but remember that we're being strategic here. You fix it until the time that you get your housing allowance. Put that money together, and instead of going to just pay rent with it or paying for your vacation, use that money to, as a down payment on a property somewhere. So you have a 5 million, you have a 4 million, but your bank would normally request for, and if you're lucky, you have a lot more. Your bank would normally request for 30% of the value of the loan you're requesting for from you. So create your chunk, and if you're lucky and you have a partner, put that together and then use it to get a property. That way you're putting real estate in your pot even before the time that you would need the real estate. I want you to think like that. The last thing I would say regarding your pillars is look beyond your location. So for example, I have mentioned the S&P 500. I've mentioned in one of my other videos how we should buy LVMH shares, Chanel shares. I know it's easy to think, oh, we're in Nigeria, how will we get them? Yeah, but I'm sure you have a friend, a cousin, somebody in America who has a stockbroker who you can ask for a meeting with. Because sometimes what you need are simple things. Sometimes all you need is an address over there. If you have a family member, you can probably use their address. If not, you buy a virtual office address, right? So you use your small money now to create an avenue for you to make big time money in Forex. When I talked about real estate, I also really want to put in my pot real estate in foreign locations so that I'm earning that money and the value of it continues to rise, you know. So you have the property itself, and then you have the rental income that's possible for your property. All of this information is only relevant, and honestly, that's what Audacity to Soar is about. It's only relevant if you're someone who wants to create a life that is beautiful. You want to live well. You want to grow old without depending and putting a burden on the people who love you. You want to, live well from yourself. What I've realized is that the people who are rich, who are thriving, and who make a lot of money, they think about wealth and money and the sacrifices that we have to make differently from the people who don't have. And I'm hoping that these tips help you live really, 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 really well in future, so that when you're an 80-year-old woman, an 85-year-old woman, and your property's real estate is, money is coming from real estate, your grandchildren, I've noticed as well that, grandma and grandpa, the grandchildren want to go to the ones who are okay, right? If you're, so you need to think about that. So, I heard TD Jakes say that he wants his grandchildren to blow kisses as his picture. Like, they'll be like, it's because of grandpa I went to this school. Because of grandpa I could start this business. He left this money for me. If that is your dream, it's from when you're working that you have to think about it. And so when you're 80 and you're enjoying yourself and you're rich and all of that is happening, I hope you remember that one day when you were in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, that I shared with you tips to ensure that you live well. God bless. My name is Hajara Quiton. I'm the head coach at the Audacity to Soar, and I invite you to take our coaching, the Audacity to Soar business coaching, or the Audacity to Soar, the Audacity to be exponential, where we build brand you so that you thrive well in your places of work and can use that money, can use that growth, income, visibility to create income for yourself, which you will then use to build your wealth. Ciao.